Today, we're going to unpack a piece of wisdom that is just timeless. It's a lesson about power, about arrogance, and really about the massive danger of underestimating anyone you think is small or insignificant.
So at the very heart of the story we're diving into is this really profound idea that your own actions will eventually come back to burn you. It suggests this kind of cosmic justice, that the consequences of what you do, especially the bad stuff, will always find their way back. Definitely keep that in your head as we go through this.
I mean, it sounds like the beginning of a bad joke, right? A tiny little bird going up against the biggest, most powerful animal on land. But believe it or not, this question is the absolute core of the story we're about to explore. A classic fable that holds a really critical, and honestly, an often forgotten warning.
Okay, let's get right into the story itself. The Elephant and the Sparrow. Our fable kicks off with this peaceful, hopeful scene, which is just about to be completely shattered by an act of pure, unthinking arrogance.
So I want you to just picture this for a second. You've got this little family of sparrows, and their whole future is right there, inside this tiny, fragile nest. They've built their home, and they are literally on the verge of bringing new life into the world. It's a perfect picture of vulnerable hope.
And then, this happens. An elephant, just totally consumed by its own pride, maybe having a bad day, doesn't even see this little life in its path. With one swing of its trunk, it demolishes the branch, the nest, and every single one of the eggs. For the elephant, it was a passing moment, a flex of power. For the sparrows, it was the absolute end of their world.
And this right here, this is the turning point. The grieving sparrow flies to her friend, the woodpecker, and her plea isn't just for comfort. No, she wants justice. This is a declaration that this careless, cruel act will not go unanswered. This is the exact moment that grief turns into a mission.
So, the big question is, how on earth does a sparrow even begin to take on an elephant? Well, not with brute force, that's for sure. They do it with brains, with alliances, and with a strategy that is just brilliant. This is where the story gets really fascinating.
The sparrow and woodpecker know they can't do this alone. So they put together this, talk about an unlikely team, right? You've got a bee whose sweet humming can lull you to sleep, and a frog whose croak sounds like life-giving water. Now, on their own, they're all tiny, seemingly powerless. But together, their unique skills are about to become an absolutely unstoppable force. And just look at the genius of their plan, all laid out here. It's a perfect chain reaction, like dominoes. First, the bee's gentle hum creates the opening. Bam! Then the woodpecker's sharp beak delivers the disabling blow. The elephant's own biology, its desperate need for water, is then turned into a weapon against it. And for the final move, the frog's clever trick leads the blinded, desperate giant straight to its doom. Each one played a vital part that no one else could have. Just incredible teamwork.
Now obviously, this is way more than just a simple animal fable. This exact pattern, the powerful underestimating the weak and paying the price, is a theme you see again and again throughout history and mythology.
And here's the direct parallel to our world. The arrogant elephant, that can be any powerful entity today. A government, a huge corporation, any leader who thinks they're too big to care about the little people. And that alliance of small creatures? That's a grassroots movement. That's a community organizing online. It is the collective voice of the people who've been ignored, finally rising up together to demand justice.
Let me give you another powerful example, this one from the epic Ramayana. A young prince, Rama, plays a seemingly harmless prank on a servant, Mantara. To him it was nothing, a joke, but to her it was a deep humiliation she never, ever forgot. That little seed of resentment just grew and grew for years, until one day she finally had the power to act on it. And what happened? Her plot cost Rama his kingdom for 14 long years, a tiny act of scorn with absolutely catastrophic consequences.
Okay, so what's the big takeaway for us right here, right now? Well, this ancient warning is totally timeless, and I'd say its lesson is more relevant today than ever before.
And look, this isn't just about ancient kings or mythical elephants. This is a direct warning for anyone in a position of authority. Power has a funny way of creating blind spots, right? It insulates people from the consequences of their actions. This applies to leaders who ignore what the public is saying, to companies that just blow off customer complaints, to a boss who disrespects their employees. The lesson is always the same. When you scorn those you see as beneath you, you are planting the seeds of your own downfall. Their collective anger can build into a force that you simply cannot fight.
This entire idea really boils down to a core principle, one that's beautifully said in the Taman language, Iliyavarai I Gazel. It's so much more than just a phrase. It's a moral compass. It's a direct, profound instruction. Do not disrespect, do not dismiss, and do not underestimate anyone who seems weaker than you. Because as we've just seen, true power isn't always the most obvious thing in the room.
And that really leaves us with a final thought, something to chew on. Just look around you, in your community, in the news, maybe even in your own office. Who are the sparrows that we're all ignoring? What seemingly small forces, if they ever united, could completely change the entire landscape? You know, the fable teaches us that the elephant never sees its downfall coming because it never ever thought to look down.